welcome back to Makeup at Gigi's, and today we are doing a look with the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette. As you can see, it came out lovely. If you want to hang out with me for a little while, see how we got this look, stay tuned. Start with my primer. I've already done my skincare. The primer I'm using is by Beauty Bakery. It's the butter. The more I wear it, the more I love it. Just get that all blended in. Okay. And now I'm just going to go over where I want a little more airbrush look. One more time, and I'm going to take this e.l.f. putty primer application brush. I don't really like the putty primer, but I do like the brush. And I just go in circles just to kind of help it get into pores, fill pores, whatever, you know, do the primer thing. But it just gives it a better finish. Alright. Alright. Now, thanks to Wayne Goss, I learned this little tip. We're going to take a little primer, a little loose setting powder. This is the Laura Mercier. And we're just going to put that over the areas that we want our finished look to have more of an airbrush look. And I've tried this a couple times and it really does seem to help. I thought at first maybe it was the primer, but I skipped the step yesterday. It was totally the step. Alright, and I'm going to take my favorite little shorty here, and I'm just going to dust off any extra powder. We're not trying to do like a whole thick layer here. It's just enough to kind of sit on top of the primer. Alright, and I don't know if you can tell on camera. There's definitely a difference to me in person. Okay, so now that we've done that, I want to take my NYX Bear With Me setting spray. You really just can't see the label on that. Okay. And just do a quick once over. Whew. Just to help set my skincare, help to set that powder I just laid down, help to set the primer stay down. And we're going to give that just a minute to hang out, to dry, and do its thing. Be right back. All right. So, that's had a minute, it's all set, it's ready to go. Now I'm going to take my Maybelline Master Camo Peach Color Corrector, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the spots where my eyes have some dark coloring. It's just because I have an olive skin tone. My mom, my sister, we all have the same little cross to bear here. Alright, let's get my beauty blender out. And we're just gonna see how that kind of evens the tone, evens the pigment there. And then maybe one more click. Okay. There we go. It just gives me a more neutral base to start with when I go to prime my eyes. If you do not have odd pigmentation, dark areas, whatever, hyperpigmentation, gifts our mothers bestowed upon us, thanks mom, then you can skip this step. Alright, so this is the Beauty Crop Stuck On You eye primer, and I like to put this on with a little brush. I don't know who's just fell out of place over there, but calm down. I may need you later. Alright. Here. And it's so weird for me to get ready and not have like music or, you know, a TV show or something playing in the background. Honestly, most of the time it's YouTube videos of other people doing makeup. And then halfway through I get confused and start trying to do their look instead of the look I was doing, and it just becomes It's a hot mess. All right, speaking of hot messes, got that going on. Now we're just gonna take our beauty blender. Make sure it's even. The brush is just to get it where I need it to go. The beauty blender really does the hard work here. Okay, and we're gonna take Miss Laura Mercier again. We're gonna dip in, tap it off real good, because we don't want a whole lot of powder. This is just enough to keep it from creasing. Okay. And I think today we're gonna go with something real simple, because it is after 2 o'clock already, and I have to leave the house at 3:30. Okay, eyes primed. Where'd Shorty go? There you are. We're just gonna, again, dust off any extra powder because we don't need all that extra powder. Now, move that out of the way. And start my brows here. Okay. Take my little spoolie brush. Give it a good comb through. Make sure everybody's where it needs to be. Alright. I always keep my brow pencil handy because at the end of application I will probably go and touch them up again. This is the e.l.f. brow gel. It's in deep brown. Oh, and the brow pencil, it is a Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim, and it is in warm brown auburn. I didn't know I had a favorite drugstore brand, but apparently it's Maybelline because that's what I have most of, except I will say Revlon makes my favorite drugstore lipsticks. Okay, so now that we've got brows kind of done, yeah, it looks like a lot. Calm down. You guys can also probably tell this is the part of my work week that I don't get any sleep. We're going to do our best to hide that. Not a whole lot I can do with it. Probably should have put on some kind of mask. But I didn't think about that until just this second, and I got time for that. All right, we're calling that even. All right, kids. Do you know what time it is? Wheel of Palettes! All right, so as you can see, our Wheel of Palettes today has chosen the Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette. Like I always say, you don't have to like whose makeup I choose to use. That's fine. Use whatever colors you want. Use whoever's brand you want. But here we have to agree to disagree, and just know that this is what I'm going to use, and if that's a problem, I'll miss you. So we're going to open up Blue Blood and just take a look. Okay, I think I've got an idea here. So we're going to go in with my favorite brush. We're going to start off today with the color Untouchable. It's kind of like a pink, corally kind of color. We're just going to use that as a transition. It did tell me blue blood. I'm not really feeling blue today, but we can make it work. I'm going to start. And I like using more of a corally color sometimes on my transition when I'm feeling like my darkness there is just extra dark for the day. because the coral, again, the peach and the coral, is going to help neutralize some of those colors I'm not a big fan of. So now I want to go in with this kind of bluish gray shade called Power. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it in this corner here, onto the lid, and then not using any more pigment, but I'm going to pull the pigment I have just in the crease area. And you see I'm holding my brush at an upward angle. That's just going to help encourage the shadow to blend in an upward angle, which is where I want it to go. So, got that. Okay, so I think next we're going to go in with the color Blue Blood. Alright, it's like a sky blue is what I would call it. If I was going to put a Crayola name on it, sky blue. Alright, take some of that. And I'm just going to go right here, lightly, very lightly, blend it into Power. And you see how it all kind of just, it's got a flow to it. I do want to make sure I'm looking straight ahead when I do this. When you have hooded eyelids like I do, where this little piece of skin here comes down over lid space, you want to make sure that you're looking straight on when you apply your eye makeup in order to apply it in the correct positions, because people with hooded eyes, we do have to move things around a little bit to accommodate and still have all of our hard work show. So we're just gonna take this up probably a little. It looks high for most people, those of you without hooded eyes, but I promise you this is exactly where it needs to be for me. Okay, so now we've got Blue Blood on the inside of our crease area. Well, for me it's my crease area because I moved my crease up, but just along here, and then Power right here and right here. And so now I think I'm going to take the color Ocean Ice because I don't think I've used it yet and it's so pretty. So we're gonna just dip my finger in because Jeffrey and his glitters, my finger just works the best. And we're just gonna, oh, that is most definitely just like a glitter. Okay, that almost needed something underneath it, but not really, I guess. And if you do apply this with a brush, you are most definitely going to need some kind of setting spray, Fix Plus, to help you and get it to stick to your brush. I don't like them, and yes, I just made a mess all over my eye. I got all this. This is not fallout. This is from my fat fingers, which is now also stained purple. Actually, I think I did use this color because I remember the purple staining, but that's okay. I don't mind staining. I wear enough makeup every day. It doesn't matter. And again, like my girl Trixie Mattel, I'm just gonna lick it. I know I'm a dirty hoe. You do what you want. Okay, so we got all this blue going on. We gotta lighten it up a little more. I need something in the light realm. So I am going to take, if I can find it, here we go. I love this little guy. It's just a little Duorime. I don't know, that's the brand. But it's just this little, it's like a paddle brush, but it's just a little like flat guy. I'm gonna dip it into this white here called Cullen. That's kind of funny, Jeffrey. So we're gonna just put this right here at the top. And get on the other side. And for some people, this would just be their brow highlight. I love glitter, so there will be more highlight to come up here. This is just more so to lighten the look up some and kind of give it something else to blend. All right, so we're gonna clean off on my towel here, just my little favorite guy. All right, so now that all that's blended out, we're going to add our wing. This is the e.l.f. just liquid eyeliner, jet black. And I'm gonna try not to go crazy with wings today. I always end up making them crazy. Ooh, first, there we go. Make sure there's no water in my eyes. And all right. And eyebrows, eyeshadow, winged eyeliner. Everybody's sisters. Don't expect twins. Sometimes our sisters have different daddies, and we are about to find out. No? No? Well, this one does look a little bit like maybe the milkman. But you know what? That's okay. So I'm going to take another Q-tip. And because I got all that blue on my face, I don't usually like to use like micellar water or anything after I've put on my skincare. But I am just going to take a dry cotton pad and just try to pick up some of that extra pigment. And it also picks up some of that glitter, which maybe fall out because it's glitter. This seems to do alright, actually. Okay, so worry not. Anything else you don't love, there's time to fix. That is coming. Okay, so now we're going to take a quick break. Alright, please don't mind the train in the background. I can't change the train schedule, unfortunately. Trust me, I would love to. So, now that we've got our eyes all done, we're going to take our Color Pop, I can't talk, Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. I'm just going to squirt a little bit of, about that much on the back of my hand. Take my uncat-haired beauty blender. It's all soft and squishy. I'm going to tap, tap, tap. And then I'm going to tap, tap, tap. And you'll notice that I'm going to avoid this area here with the tinted moisturizer. I'm going to wait and not put any product there until I put my concealer. And that way I don't have a ton of product there that can cause drying or creasing or whatever else. And you know what? I'm going to do one more little pump. Just another little pee. Now I'm going to take my Tarte Ultra Creamy Shape Tape. Not that original drying business that they have. Not good for me. Maybe good for you, not good for me. And we're going to do, oh, you know what? Before we do that, we're going to go back in with our color corrector. So I want to apply just a dot here, a dot here, a dot here. Here. Ooh, that was a big dot. You know what? That's probably more accurate. Okay. You don't want to do a ton of color corrector. You just need a little bit to correct the color. Blend all of that in. Still looking a little dark right here. So we're going to put a little there too. And it may look a little bit extra orange right now. That is not the finish. We're not going for Oompa Loompa. Funny story, at one point in my life I did play an Oompa Loompa in a play. 9th grade? I think that was 9th grade. We used to do the summer stock series. And every summer we did a fun play that was kindergartners through 12th grade. And the little kids were always like Oompa Loompas, or we did Peter Pan and they were mermaids. And then the older kids who were in the ensemble, basically everybody got in. Everybody made the show. And the ensemble was where you put the people that you let in because everybody made it. There were also some of the more talented people that were in the ensemble, and that was because they had the skills necessary to manage a small group of kindergartners or smaller children. Because that was basically our purpose there. Babysit the little kids. You were assigned like 4 or 5 that you had to keep up with and, you know, make sure they didn't miss their cues and they were in costume and nobody was crying. Not hard. So anyway, I was an Oompa Loompa. It was fun. I wore lollipops in my hair, and I had pink overalls. They didn't make us paint our faces orange. I was a little disappointed. Okay, and I am going to take this, just my loose setting powder, and I'm just going to set right here. Let's see, what are some other fun shows I was in? I think one of my favorites I was in was Auntie Mame. That was, oh, when was that? I guess that was 9th grade. And if you've never seen Auntie Mame, it's this socialite woman who, her brother dies in a tragic accident and leaves his child to her to care for. And this does not fit her socialite lifestyle at all. And if you do know Auntie Mame, you know what I mean. Auntie's hung. But anyway, there's a scene in the beginning where she's having a party right after the little boy comes to live with her. And instead of her, like, supervising him, you know, like a responsible caregiver, she hands him a notepad and says, if you hear any words you don't understand tonight, write them down and we'll talk about them later. Not a terrible tactic, actually, but some of the words. So anyway, opening night of the show, being the kids we were and into the shenanigans, we decided to write some naughty messages on this notepad that she was going to hand the small child. And we were only in 9th grade, and we weren't bad kids, so they weren't that naughty. I think it might have said, like, balls or something. So, don't go, like, thinking it was too crazy. But we also did fun things like slip a real camera in for the prop camera one night. So in the scene where they go to take a picture of Mame, the flash went off. Almost threw everybody off their game, but our actors were great. And so, got all that done. Now it's time to contour. We're going to get out my iconic contour. And I'm just going to hit up this one that's Hip Hand. That's the one. I don't know if it has shade names. Nope, no shade names. Okay. Right here, and I do blend it into the hairline. Now, if I'm going for more of a glam, not just like I'm going to work. I know this looks pretty glam, but I promise it's not. Then I have a cream contour that's just a little bit darker. It's actually probably way darker than it needs to be, but I didn't know what I was doing when I bought it, and I bought it, and so I'm going to use it. Okay. This is just right under your cheekbone. Shape out your chin. And this is really, I guess, more of a bronzing than a contouring. I don't know. I'm calling it contouring. I am adjusting the shape of my face. I feel like the word fits. Okay. Now I'm going to take my big, fluffy, domey Define brush by Ecotools, dip it in this bright ass pink, because why the fuck not? I guess I shouldn't say that, should I? It's buried. Come at me, YouTube, I don't care. I did mark it not for children, so. And, you know, this is kind of an 80s-ish thing, but I like to bring it up a little bit into my hairline. Because if I was to blush, I would blush there too. And that's really what you're trying to achieve here, is think about where you naturally blush. Like when somebody says something nice to you. A stranger on the street says, "You're so pretty." You know what happens. Sometimes you're like, really? But it happens. Okay. That's where you want to apply it. And then below my chin. Just for a little color. See, my forehead just a touch. Just a touch. Okay. And make sure that's all blended up in the hairline Alright, so done with this. Put him away. Where's your spot? There's your spot. Okay. We're going to take Shorty here. Blend everything aggressively. So we're going to take Blue Blood again. And I've got my Morphe M165. I think they all have M in front of them. Maybe not. Maybe some of them have an E. We're going to go back into the color Power. That was that darker shade we used on the outer side. And we're going to tap our little angly brush in it. And another little trick with hooded eyes, because you have to start your wing out further, you're going to take your under eye shadow and line it up with the bottom of your wing and just pull almost a straight line until you meet your eyelid on the underside there. See? And then I've got this little space here that I'm going to dip back in, and I'm just going to fill all the way up to the lash line. Yeah. But that just helps kind of adjust your eye shape a little bit. And I always just do this with whatever the darkest shadow I used on my upper lid. I just go in with it. Okay. And then I'm going to take our lighter shade, Blue Blood here, which again is this guy, hanging out next to Power. And I'm going to put it just along the lash line on the front part of my lower lid and kind of overlap them just a little bit in the middle there. Okay, see? Not a whole lot. And then really hard to get where you can see me and I can see me. Okay. Alright, so color is applied. Now we're going to take, in this mess on my little vanity in front of me, I'm going to take the color Untouchable, which is what we started with, that pink, and it's completely gone now. You can't see it. That's okay. I'm still having more darkness under my eyes than I want, and the peachy tone of Untouchable is going to help even that out, and it's a nice color to just smoke this a little bit. Okay, there you go. We're just going to deal with it today. Can I say, my weekends, sleep is not a thing. Alright, so now I'm going to just refresh a little bit with my setting spray by NYX. Because if you don't feel like you took a shower in it, did you really set your face? Alright, so I have since put on my eyeliners and my mascara. I'm using on my top waterline the LA Colors eyeliner pencil. It's in Electric Blue. I'm using on my bottom waterline the ColourPop Cream Gel Foundation. It is in the color Prance. And my normal Too Faced Better Than Sex waterproof mascara. Okay, so now we need to pick a lip color. And it's a work night, so I don't want to go too crazy. I think we're just going to go with this pinky nude type pinkish color. It's by Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and it is called Doll Parts. Okay, I'm going to pair Doll Parts with the ColourPop Lippy Pencil. This is in the color BFF2. Alright, so now that we've finished our eyes, we've got our lips, the only thing left to do is highlight. I did just spray my face again with the Bear With Me setting spray because it was looking a little bit dry. And I think today I'm going to use my Kaleidoscope highlighter palette and the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild. It's new. I like it. Yeah. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Anastasia in my inner corner of my eye. We're going to use this color called Blue Ice right here. Or should we use this purple? Let's do purple. It's called Purple Horseshoe. Ooh, why is there a fuzzy on my brush? Come here. All right. Oh, we made the right choice. All right, so on my cheeks, I'm going to use the, we're gonna use this, it looks dark purple in the pan. It does not look that color when you put it on. Let me just say that. I was afraid of it for a long time, but it's got a really pretty, like, silvery, bluish, greenish kind of highlight to it. I know, y'all, that's a lot. Shorty will fix it. Actually, I think this is about as much highlighter as I normally wear. All right, Shorty. All right, I'm gonna dust off my brush, and I am gonna put just a little bit of that Purple Horseshoe. Just in with it. Just, yeah, just a little bit. There we go. All right, and I do think for one last little something, I want to take my, that one. It is a ColourPop Super Shock Shadow. This is the shade Ice Dream. And I don't remember if this is one I ordered from them directly or if it's one I found on sale at Ulta. But I'm just gonna put a little of that up here. I love this little purple and blue thing I got going on now. Okay, right here. And I will say, I don't actually like these Super Shock Shadows as like a loner eyeshadow. It would have to be a real specific type of look for it to be functional and the way I want it. But I do love them as highlighters. Okay. Basically, my coworkers told me I come to work and I kind of look like a pixie or a fairy did something all over my face. Okay. Just mix everybody together, blend them in, get them playing nice. A little lift on my finger there. Okay. Okay, so I think that's sufficient. Okay, so that's my finished look. Now, off to get ready for work.